Hey guys, welcome again to another episode on Everything Real Estate with Giwa Realty. On today's video, we're talking about properties that actually exist, accurate information, but there is a loophole somewhere. It is either the property has been inflated by the agent or you are paying to the wrong person.
So speaking of inflating the prices of properties, so there was this property that was listed in Ikoyi, and I tried inquiring about it for a client, and I was told the property was gone, like it's been taken. Then much later, the mandate reached out to me again to say that the property was now back in the market. And I had to ask him that, what happened? Because my client had already moved on to something else. So he explained to me that the agent he was involved with that was trying to help the client like get the property did something wrong. And I asked what she did. So he explained that they were trying to rent the property for $50,000.
Okay.
That's per annum. Then they were demanding for 2 years upfront, which was going to be $100,000 dollars. So it happened that I think back and forth that he had with them because the clients wanted it furnished.
Okay.
So they said they were going to do it for I think $60,000 or $70,000. That's for furnished. So long story short, I think the agent told the client he was going to go for I think $100,000 per annum.
Wait. 100K for she added extra 50.
No, that's going to be 60 because that's going to be 30 per annum.
So if I'm understanding, they wanted to rent for 50K non-furnished.
Yes.
Or if it's going to be coming furnished, it will be
70K.
Yes. Per annum.
Yes.
So total will be
70.
So she
that's
added
supposed to be 140K
for the 2 years.
Yes,
but she said 200.
But she said 200. So that's extra
60.
Wow.
How much is that in Naira?
Like, do the math.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
My brain cannot just wrap around it because
It's a lot.
60,000 on top of
$60,000.
On top of 2
on
years.
top of
$1,000 naira.
140K.
People that are selling houses, they are not saying that amount of money.
So how did they get
that's
to know? They had a lot of back and forth with the client because the client was not a Nigerian. I think it was Lebanese or something.
Oh, okay.
So he wanted a particular taste, and he had a lot of conversation with both the mandate and the landlord. So the landlord was already involved in the transaction because they really wanted the client to take the property and all of that.
Okay.
So he had filled the KYC form and he had like done everything that needed to be done. It was just the payment part that was left. And much later he came out to say that he was no longer interested. The landlord now called to ask, like, okay, with all the stress we've gone through trying to negotiate and do a lot of things, like, what happened? Why did you change your mind? So he then explained that they were going to give it to him at $100,000 per annum, which was too much for him. And he was like,
and they're looking for 2 years.
Yes. Whose property are they renting for $100,000? Like,
are you sure it's my
Are you sure it's so the landlord now reached out to the mandate to like let him know what the client said. And truthfully, the agent was asked why she did that. And she was like, she came up with different stories, like, company, this, that, blah, 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 blah. She just had a side of story to tell.
They always do.
But
they always do.
But the landlord just had to let it go. Like,
Wait, I want to understand something. So she added 60K.
Yes.
The landlord is aware that the client said that this person had what did he try to tell the clients that that is not what I said like just because at the end of the day she's not the only one losing.
He actually now even did but he did not say that this was not what he said. He now said that they could do it for a different price. But now because he was trying to cover up the lady
situation.
because she works for a company, and the company is not a small company. So if you have put that out to the client,
that would have
damaged the company's reputation.
Because, and again, the client is not Nigerian, and you know how foreigners can be when they hear of scam or they hear of, so, and he didn't want all of that happening.
That's actually a very smart way of managing the system.
But in all of this, that is an extreme greed. I don't even agree. That is greediness.
It's crazy.
It's crazy because 60K for a house that you don't own, you have no affiliation.
Why?
You're just an agent.
And she's still going to get her agency again.
Let's see if I can press calculator.
Please.
So I'll be more mad.
I know, that's
90 million naira.
Wow. You just go and see Bella tomorrow.
She buy a house in Aja.
On rent.
That's on rent.
On rent.
That's insane.
On
That's
rent.
insane. That's insane.
People that are even selling Ikoyi, selling banana, like even Eco Atlantic, are they making
You
90 million commission?
You cannot even in sales.
Even the inflation is.
You cannot even load the property to that point.
To 90 million.
At least in that case, I mean, the scam was not actually committed. Luckily for the man.
Thank God.
But I mean, it could have happened. I mean, there are some people that would not really mind and they would pay, and that's even a good one, at least. So when you talk about inflation of price, at least you still get a property.
Yeah.
They inflate, or
They
you are
just
just
inflate
paying.
the price.
You are just
Yeah.
paying.
You probably
But
still get it at the end of the day.
at the end of the
Exactly.
day, it's still yours. You still move there. You just like they've dagboed you. But now imagine that you paid to the wrong person.
Yeah.
Imagine it's
What's
even
wrong?
the
Your money
70K.
is gone.
2 years, that's 170K. You paid, now paid to the wrong person, and because those things happen.
No, now imagine sorry to cut you short. Imagine she collected the 170K, she added the 200, and you paid the 200, and she now carried the money out.
That one they will go and track her EFCC straight.
That's true.
That's even worse. But even this paying to the wrong person, I've had a story also in Ikoyi. So there was this particular fully detached that was for sale.
Okay.
They had just finished building it for sale. Then I had this. So I went there one day with the client. So the developer was just gisting me that this almost happened, that a particular Indian wanted to rent. So an agent brought them. I know because the house is actually available for sale.
Yeah,
People would come in, and the security will not really ask what you're doing because that's actually available for sale. So people could easily inspect.
And it's true.
Actually, so the man had inspected, he liked the place, everything is okay. He had submitted KYC, he had gotten offer with account details to pay for the house. So he just decided, okay, this thing I want to pay, let me show my wife, let me just show madam before we finally. That was also the man.
See, showing madam really saved you.
I'm telling you. So that day he wanted to just show madam. It was just like, okay, he didn't bother telling the agent since they were already expecting payment from him. So it was just like, let me just take my wife there, let her give me the final approval, I will make payment. So the day they went, luckily for them, they were able to meet the developer on site that day. So they went around, checked everything. So after that, the developer went to meet them. Oh, do you like what you saw? The man said yes. The wife said yes. That this was just their final check. That they had seen it already. They had even gotten offer. They were
who gave you offer?
Who gave you offer? So you show them the offer. I say, guy, this property is not for rent. It is for sale. That was what saved them.
50 million naira.
It was for sale. Yes, it was for 50 million naira. This was
like so
a
they
couple
would
of
have
years. They will have
taken 50 million naira
and just
like that.
Yeah.
In cases where because there are some developers that they do not like to pry. If you're as an agent, sometimes you're taking them, they might not even really converse with you.
Yes,
they'll just go about their day. Now imagine if the man did not communicate.
That's why I always tell this client, please communicate, ask questions.
50 million, the Indian man will say.
I just think the man
just
was
like
just
that.
The man was just blessed. He was just lucky because just
that's little interaction.
That last minute, just let me just do that. That was what saved. That was what saved him, and we see a lot of cases like that. I mean, in the sale, it's more common to see loading. People don't usually load in rentals and like that, but in sales they do that.
I remember one time I went on an inspection with a client, and but then it was an agent that brought the client in. So we went there, we got to the property. The client asked a question. The first house I went to, the client asked how much was it. I told the client rather, the price of the property. Then I just knew that the agent that brought him was very uneasy. She started to give some cold attitude. I didn't think much of it. So when we said, okay, let's check out the second property, as we were driving through, we got a call, because she was not driving with us, she was driving with the client. We got a call, a text that we got a text, we didn't respond. She called and said we should check our text. Then she said she'll be very happy if we would not communicate prices with the clients. And I'm like,
red flag.
I asked her why. She said she would like all information to be passed through her. So I now asked, okay, what if in cases where the clients were at the property, and because of course the client knows that I'm the mandate to that property, because clients, they are very smart.
They know.
They might not even say anything to you as the agent that brought them. They'll just ask the person that directly that is involved in the whole house thing. Like, how much is this for? I should now tell the man, please ask
your agent. I've actually been a victim of that, where I lost out on a deal in Ikoyi as well, because the client came and she wanted to rent a property, but the budget she had and the price they were trying to load it to was out of line. Was out of line.
And at first I thought it was like maybe she was not comfortable, because there are some agents that are very skeptical that I make no go steal my clients. But then I'm like, you are here. I am here. So if he asks a question, I should throw that question back to you. Does it make any sense?
About loading it, honestly, apart from the fact that it is not a good practice, most of the time you just lose out on deals.
True.
Because at the end of the day, you're not the only one marketing these properties.
Very correct.
I mean, you're not the only one marketing it, so it makes you just lose out on deals. And in cases where some of them are actually closed, at the end of the day, it's just, imagine the client now later finds out
that, oh, I was scammed.
Yes, so because I know
I
know about a guy that does real estate, that what he does is that he loads the property. He has a big company in Ikoyi and he employs agents to work for him. So initially, when I found out about the company, I used to think that maybe he's like this very big guy that is mandated to so many properties because they just have so many properties. So I just realized that what he actually does is he goes on the street just like us, scout properties, get the mandate's information and all of that. Then he loads the property.
So I'm trying to understand. So in the cases of loading, is it that the developers or the owners of that property are aware?
The thing is that most times, developers don't really care. Most times they just want to close the deal.
Yeah.
As long as the
sometimes developers are aware, sometimes they are
most
not.
times they don't really care. They just want to sell the house and move on. So after he has sold with these loaded prices to these people, they now realize that this guy has been selling property to them for like a high price. So now they are looking for him all over Lagos. Like, they are looking for him. So they took one of my friends that is his staff. They arrested her. That's how I know that this is what is going on in that
Just collect commission and have peace of mind.
They load as much as
if you feel like the client is not going to pay you, walk away.
And people like this that are so greedy are the reason why people that come into Nigeria to buy properties keep saying Lagos properties are overpriced. They are overpriced. Yeah. Because we that we are in real estate that understand this, we know that this thing is worth it. Commands the amount. We know that it's not really as overpriced as they say.
But the person will put 60K dollars. That one not
thief.
That one a proper thief.
This one is not even loaded.
It's not loaded. That's thief. You brought AK-47 knife fight. How?
It's a knife fight.
It's not nice. No, it's not nice. And the truth is, some of these clients, because it's only the ones that are here in Nigeria that have patience enough to start checking. Diasporan clients are very impatient. If they're communicating with you,
they always want to deal with one person.
They don't like to they don't have the patience enough to check out every other person. So they are always victims of this scam. So how do you think we can advise them? Because expatriates are coming into the country. How can we advise them to protect them from getting into,
the first thing I would say is they should remember is their money, their hard-earned money.
Yeah.
So I think you should be able to put a little effort, just that little effort to cross-check things, to check, because it's your money. At the end of the day, if you are saying you are so busy, you don't have the patience to check it, they'll collect your money and go. So check, compare, because if a property is real, that's what I always tell my clients. If you see a listing and it's real, 10 other people that are real and legit will have posted, compare prices. I know it's real estate. There are different prices to same properties. Everybody's listing as they like. Some people even list lower. I've seen agents that even list lower. Then when you come to them, they list lower so they can attract you. So when you come to them, they will not tell you the real price. So if something is, for instance, 150 million, you should be able to see 145, 150, 145, 140, close 160. You know, but once you're not seeing it like that, you are seeing 700.
Why is it
you will know something is fishy. You will know something is fishy. So I think that's one way to not get scammed, to avoid paying to the wrong person.
Does any other person have it?
Well, I think for me, you know, I had a client one time that I felt was maybe like doing a bit too much in the process of we trying to get in a property, and you know, it was going to rent a fully detached, I think 4 or 5 bed in Lekki Phase 1, and the house was going for I think 30 million or thereabout. 30 million was 30 million. But from the conversation, like, okay, he wanted everything official, like you can't send him stuffs like as a message, maybe via WhatsApp. He'll tell you, put it in a document, send it to my mail. Like, so you know, like he wanted everything like documented. So I'm like, this one is doing like a bit too much. When you send him, even to the point where we sent him account details, like he was going to verify every single.
That's a bit. That was once a bit.
I'm like,
I'm sure that was once a bit.
He's giving once beaten, twice shy.
I'm like, this man is doing a bit too much. But it was much later that I was able to understand his point of view. Because even when I got scammed, I'm like, okay, people actually get scammed.
Okay, nice
People
one.
actually get scammed in this business. So you have to take your time to actually verify. Talk to people in the property, like their facility managers. They know the owner of the houses. Confirm, okay, is this person really the owner of this house? Okay, are they renting it out, or try and just just be sure that okay, you are making the right choice, and don't be in a hurry. If something is too good to be true,
it's definitely too good
because
to be true.
it always
it is not true.
It is
not true.
Very true.
Take your time, please. Take your time.
So just to also emphasize what both of them have said, and I know Blessing have mentioned that you should just compare prices with other agents. That is a good way to actually know if the price they're giving is inflated or not. Jola has also said you should try to verify. You know, you can actually ask either the facility manager of the estate or the property, because they always have the names and the numbers of the owners of the house, or at least of all the landlords.
So they can also,
so you can always be sure that you're actually paying to the right person, or the landlord is aware of this transaction that you're about to go into. Then the other thing I would just really want to add to it is the fact that in a case whereby you are not able to, maybe the house doesn't have like a facility manager, maybe like a fully detached and the likes, one thing you can do is just try to get the developer. Most of the time, the developers actually have their seal. So take, for example, you want to rent a fully detached, maybe somewhere in Lekki Phase 1. You know that the Lekki Phase 1 estate doesn't have directory of all the old, and you might not be able to get the document to find out who owns this property. So, but in the case where a developer built it, they usually have their seal. So you can reach out to the developer that, okay, I'm about to rent this house. Who did you sell it to? Who's the owner? At least they can give you that extra level, extra layer of security to just verify that, okay, you are renting from the true source that bought from us as the developer, and that can just even save you some things.
Sorry to cut you short. Even if you cannot, they don't give you that, because sometimes they sold it to one person that sold it to another person. You find a track line. Somebody will know somebody that knows who bought. So guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. Please, we are begging you, try not to get scammed. Your money is very dear to you and to us. Please don't get scammed. See you again on the next one.
Bye.